Welcome to Between Two Pastries, a not-so-typical nutrition podcast. Nicole and Annie are licensed and registered dietitians. Join them as they discuss hot nutrition topics, challenge popular beliefs, and have a blast doing it. Here are your hosts, Nicole and Annie.
Welcome to Between Two Pastries. This is Nicole.
Hey, all, it's Annie.
We have a quick pod today in regards to a client of mine, actually. And this individual recently wrote me about some concerns that he had because he had some lab work done. He's just an overall super active, really healthy guy, kind of always looking at tweaking things and stuff. And I've worked with him throughout the years. And it just surprised him a little bit because his LDL came back. It's not terribly high at all, to be honest, just slightly elevated, and his HDL was slightly lowered. So here's the deal. The deal is this. What happens when you get labs? Annie, you know this firsthand. When you get labs back and you're like, what the frick? What are you going to say? Right. No, not only does it suck, but what do people do? They start searching.
I got to change everything.
Or I got to change everything. But the first thing people typically do is search the frickin' internet in regards to these values.
Yes, because I must be dying.
Unfortunately, this is what my client did and came back to me with all of these things. And so here's what is very upsetting. Okay. So if we're going to talk about myths here about what affects HDL and LDL, this is a great start. But the reason why Annie and I are talking about this today is just simply to continuously bring awareness up that the internet has more terrible and inaccurate information than it actually has good information.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
And just to be so careful about it. So one of the things, and again, everything that he brought up is a complete, I'm reading this email going, where are you getting this information from? It's just freaking mind blowing.
It's almost like, and again, I know I probably offend people sometimes, but it's almost as if he read online, the sky is purple, and therefore, Nicole, the sky is purple. So, right. And it's like, dude, think about it, man. No, what you're reading is not is basic nutrition information. And you're just like, yep, okay, I better believe this. Why are we so, just automatic to believe what we read?
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
I just don't know how to say enough about warnings about these things that are out there, because it's incredibly damaging is what it is. It's just damaging. I mean, it's really, really frightening. So, again, he read some things. One thing is that he read that a keto diet would increase HDL. And it's like, no, it doesn't.
So your HDLs are your good cholesterol.
That's right. HDL is...
What would eating a ton of fat do on a keto diet? Or essentially, I shouldn't even say you're eating a high fat diet. You're eating an exceptionally low carb diet.
Right.
What you eat that's not carb doesn't necessarily have to be fat. Do you know what I mean? When you break it down, HDLs have nothing to do with that.
I know. And what we do know for sure is that HDL is actually, it's increased by very few things. That's the thing.
And don't whole grains improve HDLs? I mean,
correct.
Am I losing my brain on basic nutrition?
Right. Mono, unsaturated fat,
carbs,
right.
The monos,
polyphenols.
Yep.
All of the, fruits and veggies with all the fibers and all the vibrant colors,
Yep.
Consuming more of that, walnuts, things like that. I mean, those are the things, again, and exercise period. Now, the thing with him is that he actually exercises quite a bit. So my concern is that when I also look at these numbers, I also feel like there might be some stress involved somewhere. And to your point, Annie, he may not be taking in enough calories. I'm completely unintentionally, but what I'm saying is that he may not be taking in enough calories, and that also can be part of it.
Well, and usually though, and this is kind of the finicky part with cholesterol, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't work with a ton of people with cholesterol stuff. Um, that's like the least of the
Yeah,
worries,
no, of course.
right?
Right.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I know for sure HDL being too low is a marker for malnutrition. But I also know that when we aren't eating enough,
Hmm.
cholesterol increases. So,
Right.
like for those
Correct.
with anorexia, cholesterol increases,
Yeah,
bulimia,
big
cholesterol
time.
increases.
Hmm.
So it's kind of a catch-22. Like I think, the media has geared us to always look at HDL, 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 HDL.
Hmm.
That's your healthy cholesterol. Always look at that. And we forget that total cholesterol is also important and directly related
Hmm.
to our LDLs and our HDLs. So if we
Hmm.
see change in HDL plus or minus, no change in LDL, and no change in total, something's going on. If we see plus or minus
Hmm.
HDL, plus or minus LDL, plus or minus total, like, I mean, think about it. So in this particular person's case, we see a negative change or a decrease in HDL. We see a neutral or same LDL, and then total, I don't know if that went up, yeah, we're definitely seeing a caloric deficit or some malnutrition or,
Right.
so it,
Yeah. I
there's
think
a
that's
lot more than just making sure you eat the right fats.
well, and that's I think that's what I ultimately always want my clients to understand, that there's so much involved in determining one's cholesterol. I mean, you can go in and it'll pick up what you ate the night before if you're not, careful about that kind of thing.
Nice.
Like
Nice.
there's all kinds of things like stress, fasting too long into
Yes.
your reading can offset things. I mean, being ill, um, uh,
Genetics.
genetics,
That's a
um,
player.
being in some crazy competition and then not recovering appropriately. Again, that's just another marker of stress, can offset things. Like it's just, there's so many reasons why these numbers come out. And I always ask those questions like, let's talk about the environment before you even went in. What was happening 3 days before? What were you even eating 3 days before? How long
Right.
were you fasting? Did you even sleep well?
Right.
Like there's so many things, right? So,
Well, and the other thing about cholesterol too is we produce cholesterol naturally
yeah,
in our bodies.
yeah.
And what a lot of people, include the media, doctor practitioners, don't realize is when we tell people, oh, no more cholesterol, don't eat cholesterol, cholesterol is bad, 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 our body is going to naturally make it. And if we don't ingest
Enough,
something,
yeah, it will produce
it
more.
produces it usually
Correct.
more than what we need. And so
Correct.
that can cause increased levels within our system anyway. So if your focus is always looking for 0 milligrams of cholesterol in
It's
everything
like
we eat,
it's
like, oh, that's
that's
not
not
good
even a good
either.
idea. Yeah,
No, bad idea.
exactly. I know. So,
You're missing other key things where we find cholesterol in
right,
eggs, seafood, in animal product,
right.
essentially. We need to be eating those things. It's
Yeah.
interesting though, I mean, this is the stuff that, when you read the little article online on PubMed, or you go to the doctor and maybe you get a handout, maybe you don't. Like, this is not the information you receive.
Right.
You
Of
receive,
course it's not.
here are
Oh my
the
gosh.
ranges, here are the foods to eat, here are the foods to not eat, and good luck.
I know. There's so many things. The
Uh-huh.
other the other thing that he did a search on too, which I just again, like I don't know where is this stuff coming from because again, it's so inaccurate. But he did share that he saw that sodium can also hurt HDL and cholesterol levels. And it's like, no.
I can't even like kind of think about like figure like I'm
Like
trying to think of like how
what
we
the
got.
mechanism of that would be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
no,
is it,
I totally
electrolytes,
understand.
water? Like, I'm
I know.
trying. Does it have to do with like the uptake of fat?
I
No,
just
there is no, literally sodium does not play a role at
yeah,
all.
they have no
Zero.
relationship. They have
None.
zero relationship. So again, it's just bringing light to there's too much crap out there and you know, just be careful on what you latch onto. I'm grateful for this client that he decided to run some things through me before he decided to take action on anything. But again, it's like I just want to protect everybody from the dumb internet, I swear.
Yeah, and it's unfortunately though, I mean, it's not just your client. I mean, I see
It's
that this
yeah.
weird like oh, my blood pressure's up, so I need to watch my fat. My cholesterol's up, so I need to watch my sodium. Like,
Right.
it's similar to people thinking that eggs are dairy.
Yeah, right.
It's like, for whatever reason, like we have this, cardiac means cholesterol and sodium, but we've mixed them up
Yeah.
when we're talking about one or the other. I get it because I've known many people to do this with the two cholesterol and sodium, but it is kind of like, just think about it a little bit.
Yeah. Right.
Just
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 a
think,
little,
like, the
a
internet's
little.
not right.
Does this make sense? Yeah, I know. I
Right.
know. I know. It's
And
so
that's good. He's questioning, right? Before just
yeah, yeah.
blindly doing.
Well, and I guess that would be the message I would send to, like, if you read something and you're really, really not sure, even if you think you're sure, like, can you find somebody that will know absolutely for sure that's completely credentialed in all the right
Right.
ways, like
Right.
just trying to help people not hurt themselves, in general. So
Well, or
anyway,
really change their blood work.
oh my gosh, seriously. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, this is how this plays out. If oh, don't have a lot of sodium because for some reason sodium increases or whatever your HDLs. So he stops having a ton of sodium or the right amount of sodium per day as an athlete. Now he's passing out. Now he's orthostatic. Now he's,
Yes.
like, that's bad
That's a
news.
problem.
You could have a cardiac event.
Yeah. Look, big time.
And if you increase it, now we're dealing with edema, and
I
now we're
know.
dealing, it's just like, don't react, ask questions.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yes, I totally and completely agree. So, all right, that's our
The short pod.
PSA for today.
Short pod. Just a little food for thought.
Little ditty, little ditty. All
Yep.
right. Enjoy the day.
Bye.
Have questions you want to hear discussed on the show? Find us on Facebook or visit between2pastries.com and drop us a line. Want to support the show? Find us on Patreon for exclusive content. If you love the show, find us on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform. Hit the subscribe button and leave us a review.